What's up, everybody? All messages. It's defaulted to get no messages. Don't know why. But I have to change it every single time. But eventually I'll get an expert to help the channel. Just takes time, guys. Time and money. So we're going to be looking over at the gold price today, and there's a lot to look at. $5,277. We just hit 5,325, 53.25, and then boom. That's why I call gold the crusher of dreams. Because just when you think it's starting to finally take over and finally start to look good, gold just goes boom. It'll drop $50, $100, $150. Doesn't care. Gold doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care if you're strong enough to hold on. Okay? And as I said, most people will sell too soon. Most people are going to sell gold way too soon. $5,300 gold. People are selling right now. I heard that a lot of people are selling silver, which is way too early to sell silver. Oh, but today, silver is not doing anything. Why? Because, for one thing, silver could sense that gold was just about to drop from its high of 53.20. Silver could sense that. It's a smaller market, so it's going to be more apparent. Okay, so just like if you see silver start to go higher, then gold's about to start to go higher too. Since silver is the smaller market, it'll often lead the way. So, expert Y. Let's go wolf. No. No more TeraWolf. Let's go silver, okay? Stop talking about wolf on this channel, Kobe. This is gold and silver, all right? Here's an interesting fact today. Gold this week became the second largest reserve currency after the US dollar. Yeah, I know, I already heard. Some of the other channels are saying that. Some of the people that I watch were saying that. Yeah, it's the second largest currency. But the central banks have more gold than cash, so shouldn't it be the first largest currency? No, not yet, because there's still much cash floating around. Other countries have our cash. Our citizens have the cash. So, you know, the US dollar is still number one. But gold will become number one. It's just a matter of time. And then silver will probably be the number two biggest currency. Even though silver is not technically a currency, it has always been a monetary asset. Silver has always been money. Just if that slightly changes in the modern day, doesn't mean it's not going to switch back to silver becoming money again. Okay, and then copper will be money as well. He likes the chain. What's up, King BK? I seen you at Big BK. Dev PG. Well, I don't know who the hell you are, dude. But it's nice to know that I got stalkers. He saw me at BK. He didn't even say anything. He just looked at me and he said, yeah, that's him. And then he walked away. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Foreign countries are buying our debt and bonds, but they're slowly stopping. Yep, that's what I hear. Other countries are not going to want our debt. And that's possibly when the dollar will fall. And a lot of you guys have been telling me that the dollar's dropping, and I'm like, no, the dollar's pretty flat. But now it is very apparent that the dollar just dropped. Within the past few days, the dollar has lost quite a bit of value. It's down to like 98, which is pretty much the same as it has been, I think. Maybe it's 96. We'll check out the dollar index. We got to check out a lot of stuff today, guys. I hope gold comes back, though. It's at 52.81. It really just blew past 52. It didn't even stop. It might have a little bit of a gap to fill back at 5,200. Well, we'll see. I don't always believe in filling gaps and stuff like that. I don't believe in that necessarily. in every case. But we're going to have amazing things happen in 2026. We have a good start to the year. And of course, guys, if you got a question, give a super chat. If you want to know about a stock, put it in a super chat so I can make some money today. Trying to get rich here, guys, okay? Trying to get rich. But usually every time that gold has a massive surge higher, it'll usually pull back a little bit, okay? We'll probably get a pullback. So take a look right here at the gold chart. So you can see every big surge. See that big surge? Pullback. Big surge, pullback. Big surge, a pullback. Now here's this one. Big surge. We could pull back to 52. And then we could surge up again. I think that's what could happen. We could easily drop down to 5,200. If we don't, then I think that means the parabolic move is coming soon. Okay? I told you guys that the next move was going to be higher. How do I explain it to you? Okay. Here's the chart where I explained that the next move in gold was going to be higher. All right? So, long periods, we go up, and then we consolidate. We go up, then we consolidate. Up, consolidate. We go up, then we consolidate. We go up, and then we consolidate. See this right here? That's a consolidation. It's also up. That's the move that told me that, okay, we're in a new environment now. This is extremely bullish. We're going to go straight up, okay? So again, this was the consolidation. And then I said we were going to go straight up, which we did, okay? I called it again. It's so easy to pick out these patterns, though. We move up, we consolidate. We move up, we consolidate. It's just very odd that the last consolidation was actually a move higher. So, and that made me say, if the consolidation is going higher, then the next move's got to go straight up. And it's straight up. That's what I said, guys. I freaking told you. I said it was going to go straight up. Okay? So now the question is, what is the next move now? Should be a consolidation. Should be a consolidation. And then we go from there. We should have some kind of a consolidation. That consolidation is going to tell us the next move. I don't actually know what the consolidation is going to be. Is it going to be an upward consolidation or an actual sideways normal consolidation? But for now, we could keep surging. We could surge up to 56, 5,700. And then silver today, why is silver holding back? Let's take a look at silver. XRP all the way. Yeah, okay. What year are you born? 1940. He's a real stalker. Okay. He was checking my car's warranty. Money only has value because humans believe it does. Money has value because the government decrees that it will have value. Fiat means money by decree. The government said it's worth money. Can I come and warm myself, sir? Jesus, Apostolic Church, Louisiana, Jesus, Jews, and the Lord and His Son. Okay, you're just rambling now. That's pretty when the dollar is falling. It's dropping huge this week. I ordered an Impossible Whopper and John made it possible, and it tasted very possibly like shit. No, the Impossible Whoppers are good, man. Don't try to hate on our food, okay? Because legit, the Impossible Whoppers are pretty good. They taste quite well. And my buddy, he always gets one on his lunch. So, and we sell a ton of them, bro. We sell a ton. I really do like the Impossible Whopper. I think it tastes good. He says yeah, the dollar is really dropping this week. We're gonna have to wait and see. I was just imagining the dollar chart as I was falling asleep, trying to figure out what was gonna happen next. And I think that my conclusion is that the dollar goes lower. Yeah, well, you really don't know. Because of a lot of the geopolitical and economic situations that we're in, I think that the dollar could drop. It could go down to 65 or 60. And that's what's going to make gold go to 8, 9, 10,000. Okay? So we still have the biggest part of the gold move ahead of us. The gold and silver move have not even barely begun. That's what people don't understand. And people are dumping their silver just because they only care about the price. Well, the economic and the bigger macro picture tells us that the dollar is about to take a huge hit, and therefore silver should go much, much higher. I think silver could get to 300 if the dollar does take the hit that I think. So if the DXY goes down to 70 or 65, we could see silver 250, 300. Okay? And you got people selling it. Doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense why people are selling it. Because they're poor. Okay? Let me tell you something. Being poor is something to be ashamed of. It is. You should be ashamed of being poor. If you're a man and you're over 35 years old, you should be ashamed that you're poor. Because you had all that time to build wealth. And you knew how important wealth was. You knew how important money was. But you're going to be lazy and waste your time. Okay? You should be ashamed of yourself if you're poor. And you should try to get rich. You should change immediately. You must make change. The power of now. Now is such a powerful moment. You have the actual power to change in this moment right now, right this second. And say, okay, I'm going to do things differently now. I'm going to start saving money. I'm going to start investing. And if you miss this moment right now, you may never be able to reclaim it. Because you might never have the situation where you have me talking to you. You have the same level of motivation. You got the same, mindset. You want to have your mindset like me. If you don't take that moment now, that moment could pass you. Okay? And then you're going to stay poor forever. That's the danger. Because then how are you going to have any respect from your children if you're a poor father, never able to provide? Okay? So if you're a man, you got to hit that subscribe button right now. And you got to start listening to the words that I'm saying, okay? Roland just disrespecting dead people for no reason. Dead people? Like who? Who did I talk about? Who cares? Low quality chain. Invest in tungsten. No one wants to buy our money. The money printers are on. Value of dollar. Yeah, the dollar is definitely going to drop at some point. Trump made a statement where he basically said it was okay that the dollar was dropping, or he said he was not concerned with the dollar dropping. I think this is a problem. He should be concerned that we are losing purchasing power and we are not making enough money. He should be concerned, but he said he is not even concerned. He doesn't even care about the little man who we're losing our purchasing power rapidly. Oh, I don't care. Let the dollar fall. Trump doesn't even care, He doesn't even care. Unless he's saying that to bluff to the foreign countries. Like he doesn't care that it's hurting our dollar. Who knows, guys? Trump said he wanted a stronger dollar, but I have always said that he wants a weaker dollar, okay? So who cares, guys? Whatever. Bottom line is the dollar is going to go down. It's just a matter of time. Basically, it's 100% guarantee that the dollar is going to really, really drop a lot. But it's just when. The answer is probably soon. Okay? Gold and silver flying right now, that's telling us that the dollar weakness is well underway. Gold and silver have been skyrocketing, and we just finally got a big drop in the dollar. Today, the DXY is actually higher. Okay? So yes, we have seen gold and the dollar move higher together. But that brings us to silver. Okay? So as I've said, gold and the dollar can go higher together. And they are. But now, silver and the dollar, those are much less likely to go higher together. Okay? So that is the reason that silver is holding back today. Because the dollar is stronger by 0.42%. Okay? Silver, as I have always said, guys, I told you guys, silver needs inflation. Okay? That's just the way it is. Gold doesn't need that much inflation. It just needs a little bit of war, a little bit of geopolitical instability, okay? A little bit of panic, a little bit of fear, that's all. But for silver, you need that inflation if we want to get those crazy prices that we're talking about, $250 to $500 an ounce. We need that inflation, okay, guys? So gold just chilling at 99 bucks up right now. We're up 99 bucks an ounce. And silver is at almost 112. Silver is just looking super volatile right now. Okay, tariffs, budget cuts, the Federal Reserve cut, it's all things Trump's administration is doing. Yes, sir. Invest in vitamins, yes. Vitamins. Oh, I gotta take my vitamins, guys. Thank you, bro. Gotta take my vitamins. Yesterday at work, we were dead. We had like hardly anybody. Like literally. We had like probably 15 customers. The boss is like, if we don't make enough profit, guys, it's coming out of your paychecks. No. But he basically said we got to sell more food. Einstein's law of relativity is gravity and acceleration are the exact. I don't care about Einstein's theory of relativity. Doesn't matter to the average man. So, dude, force, mass, acceleration, not the same thing, but related. Yeah, we'll let my music correct these wannabe scientists in the chat. Okay? These Einstein worshippers. Even though my moderator is a lot smarter than these guys. So, get off the internet, you old. Yeah, but look at Mr. Beast. He looks old now. Now, Mr. Beast looks old. That guy looks totally different. I have a feeling like he lives his life like totally different than when he's on the camera. He looks like he's aging fast. And he looks like a freaking robot or something. He looks like a weird dude. Some vitamins. We built the internet on YouTube. Dumb. We are taking the market. Any thoughts on oil companies in Venezuela? No. I heard Chevron's going to go into Venezuela. You guys know I like Brazil. Yeah, that's like my number one stock, Brazil. Used to be Silvercorp Metals, but now the Silvercorp moved up. My number one stock is Brazil. Let's see where we're at today. I think we're about $15 and something. $15.21. Yeah. It's getting harder to buy it. And the price goes up. Yeah. You're really not going to want to buy this thing at about $98. So I'd rather buy it at $15.21. Telling you, Petro Brazil is such a powerful tool in your stocks. It's very powerful. Crazy dividends, crazy dividend potential, crazy price appreciation potential. That's really one of my number one picks right now is Petro Brazil. For sure. And you know what? I'm going to change my mind on that because in the future I'll change my mind. When Petro Brazil hits $60, I'm not going to buy it anymore. At that point, I'm probably going to hate the stock because it's going to be time to sell it, you know. When it's $60, $80, $100, $120, it'll be time to start liquidating it. What is a good stock now is not going to be a good stock in the future, okay? As the stock rises, it becomes less lucrative. And that means I don't like it as much, okay? But what do we got here? Invented everything. Bro, get rid of your hair and do the Jason Statham. Yeah, DXY 65. That's what I think. Yeah, for sure. It's just a matter of time. DXY, like Destiny's Tech. No, it's the dollar index. The DXY is the dollar, the US dollar. Buy a silver chain. Can still try it. Okay. So let me just. Alcohol is powerful. Bud stock ripped higher. 52 ounces yesterday, 411 total premium. This guy bought silver for $111 an ounce. Yeah. You know, I think a lot of people are selling, yes, because they're poor. Okay? Once all the poor people are wiped out, it's just going to be strong retail. Okay? And these guys are going to be buying. The poor people that are selling, they might never be able to buy it. And they're going to be kicking themselves in the ass for the rest of their lives. If you sold silver at $50 or $100, or even if you sell silver at $150, you're going to be kicking yourself in the ass. Because you're going to say, damn it, why did I sell silver at $150? It's $875 now, you know? I think the smart money knows silver has way more potential to run. Yeah. Yeah, the poor are selling. The people that really, really need the money, these are the people that are selling their silver. You know, and I blame them. I think that's stupid. Why would you sell your silver just because you're poor? The fact that you're poor tells me you should hold on to that silver so you can actually have some kind of assets. But no, what the poor are doing is they're getting rid of everything that they have that holds real value. So let's say I'm a poor person, guys. I'm poor. What do I do? Oh, I have a little bit of silver. Here's this silver. I'm going to get rid of my best asset that I have for cash. And what am I going to do with that cash? What do poor people do? Well, they could pay off debt. They could gamble it away. They could help out somebody in their family with it, which would be a good use of it, you know. But a lot of the poor people, whenever they sell something, they end up just blowing the money. Silver is an asset that you hold for generational wealth, not just to sell it so you can go to the casino or so you can go to the car dealership, you know. Guys, I could take all my silver right now, buy a brand new Corvette. But that's what the poor people do, okay? So what does a rich person do? What does a rich person do when they sell their silver? Well, you buy a business. You buy other assets. You buy assets that are undervalued relative to that silver, okay? So, land. Land is the number one, okay? The number one thing you should sell your silver for is land. Land, property, a house, okay? You should not sell your silver just because you need money. Come up with the money somewhere else, okay? If you need money to pay off a bill, medical bills, credit card debt, then figure out a plan to pay it off. Your plan for paying off debt should not be to sell your most valuable assets. You know? So if you have silver and you're poor, I would rethink selling that silver. Try to get rich another way. Don't try to make money by selling your best asset, okay? So, you said the other day you only have 10 ounces. Right, I have 10 ounces. Dude, you're stupid to ask. You shouldn't ask people how much money they have. Did I ask you how much money you had? That's an infantile question. That's a question a 5-year-old would ask. A question an intelligent person would ask is, you know, how much silver should one stack? Or what kind of allocations in my portfolio should I have in silver? Should I have 10% in silver, 20% in silver? Or, you know, there's all kinds of intelligent questions you could ask. But just, how much silver do you have? That tells me you don't give a shit about trying to learn. You just want to know if I have money, you know? How much do you have? That's an infantile question, dude. Okay? Why would I tell you? So, yes. Rich by income producing assets. Yes, exactly. So, that people like me, that's what I'm going to be doing, okay? When I sell my silver, I'm going to buy income producing assets, such as Petrobrazil, a business, start my own business. I don't even have to buy another business. I can just start my own, okay? I could buy equipment that I could rent out. I could buy, lease a building that I could start a business out of that building. You know, I could lease a fleet of trucks. Or I could buy a fleet of trucks and rent them out. But the number one thing I'm going to buy when I sell my silver, more stocks. Then I'm going to sell those stocks. I'm going to buy more stocks. That's what I am, as a stock trader. I'm an investor. I can take a certain amount of wealth and turn it into more wealth. That's what I do. And that's what all you guys should do too. You should not be trying to sell your stuff to pay off debts. Try to earn more money to pay off your debts. All right. Rich people sell their silver and buy gold or assets like stocks. What do boogers smell like? I like people who flaunt. Dude, that's what you said. Stop spamming. Nobody cares about John's hair. Yeah. And tuna pouches in the country. Gotta have power. You live in a trailer. If you're giving advice, I'd like to know what you do now. I'm not giving advice. Stock slice is perfect for people who don't have a lot of money. Yeah. The stock market is the best place to go if you don't have a lot of money to invest. Because you can buy cheap stocks that have high potential. You know, I really believe this. More poor people should buy stocks. As long as they're buying the ones that I tell them to buy. Most likely, poor people, they buy stocks like Tesla, Nvidia, Apple. The poor people buy the very, very popular stocks because poor people are so stupid. When they get bombarded with messages from the TV, they suck it all in. Okay? And what does the TV say? The Magnificent Seven. And that is what the poor people buy. Okay? The poor people are not able to filter out bad information because they don't have the training. Okay? So the poor people will watch the news, and if the news tells them to buy Tesla, they're going to buy Tesla. Or if Apple's on the news, they're going to buy Apple. But what poor people need to do is they need to buy alternative stocks, okay? Alternative oil stocks, income generating stocks, okay? Like Petrobrazil, WTI, Silvercorp Metals, First Majestic Silver, Ecopetrol, okay? But no, the poor people are not going to do that because, see, poor people, they're sheep by nature. They always take direction from more powerful people than them. The poor people cannot think for themselves. They're sheep, okay? And they follow the news. They follow whoever is telling them to do. The poor people always follow whoever has a degree. So a lot of the poor people, they say, oh, this person's a doctor. They know everything, like a doctor is God or something. But rich people know better. Because we've trained, and oftentimes we've trained ourselves. Okay? And among other reasons. Yeah, not financial advice. Poor people read the Bible. Well, some rich people do as well. Okay? Rich people read the Bible as well. Don't say the words Jesus Christ. That's using the Lord's name in vain, okay? We don't do that here. Bro's pretending to be, is he rich? LOL. Jesus, he's telling people what stock to buy. Yeah, I just said a whole bunch of them right there. I said Petro Brazil, First Majestic Silver, Silver Corp, WTI. There's a lot of good stocks, guys. I mentioned Eco Petrol as well. Okay, super high dividend. This isn't financial advice, but some financial advisors might say, do everything John says. Yeah. You know, I've talked to a lot of financial advisors, and it's clear to me that they have a certain type of training that is counterproductive, in my opinion. And these guys are trained to mislead, okay? These financial advisors, they'll never tell you to buy gold. They'll never tell you to buy silver. Therefore, they're going to mislead you. Okay? They're only going to sell you stuff that they make money on. They're going to mislead you into making them rich and feed you the wrong stocks. So if I advise people, do not go to financial advisors. For sure. Because, guys, where have I said to invest? Gold and silver stocks. Financial advisors are not going to tell you about gold and silver stocks. When they do, that means it's already too late. And they will, at one point, and then it will be too late. They're going to get you in at the top. The average financial advisor is going to get you into gold and silver at the top. I'm serious. People pay big money for financial advisors only to be force-fed foolish information. And they think that they're smart. Oh, I'm going to go get a financial advisor. Or I'm going to go get a family psychologist. Or I'm going to get a psychologist for myself. Someone that I can just talk to. And then they're going to mislead you. They're going to try to keep you coming back, keep trying to make your money. There is no mental problem or any kind of issue that you can't fix yourself. Okay? You should be able to fix everything yourself unless you actually do need like medication or something like that. But you can fix almost any psychological issue. You don't need help from all these people. You can build wealth yourself. You don't need help from a financial advisor. Okay? A financial advisor is not even going to tell you about Petro Brazil. Guaranteed. They're going to tell you about ExxonMobil. Garbage. Straight up garbage. Guaranteed. They only tell you about the big stocks. The big U.S. ones. A lot of financial advisors will not tell you about Petro Brazil because it's a foreign stock. But sometimes foreign stocks are better than American stocks. All right, guys? Foreign stocks can be better. So, Zach, why do you think you don't have power over your life and happiness? Zachary says that's horrible advice. I worked with a guy named Zach. He was a bit of a strange dude. He would just like stare down the customers and wouldn't say a whole lot. Probably not the same Zach. You can't compare doing your own financial to psychology issues. That's ridiculous. Well, I did. You can say that I'm ridiculous, yes. And many people do say that. But yeah, you should be able to fix any psychological issue as well. But the truth is, a lot of people can't fix themselves. You know, they can, but they don't believe that they can. But who cares? But yes, I did compare them. And financial issues can be tough for people to address. So can psychological issues. But we do have the internet. Okay, we have all the information we need to fix ourselves, fix our financial futures and our mental health. Okay. The one thing that helps mental health is what? Exercise. Okay. If you exercise, that's automatically going to alleviate the symptoms of depression. Okay. So, like I said, any problem that you're having, you can fix it. Just do the research. Okay. You got to be really willing to make the change, and you got to want to make the change. So I'm saying he's comparing financial advice to psychological advice in the same sentence. People are habitual and don't even realize they have problems and unhealthy work through life. Well, yes, a lot of people don't realize they have a problem. Okay? A lot of people that watch football, they don't think they have a problem. Yeah, people that drink 2 beers a day, they don't think that's a problem. When we all know that any alcohol at all is bad for the human body. Okay? Maybe you could say red wine might be okay. But yeah. But those people who don't even realize that they have a problem, they're not going to seek it out anyways. They're not going to seek help anyways. I mean, who cares? What's the problem with watching football? The people that have a mindset, the people that like to watch football, these are people that feel personal success when their team wins. But there's a disconnect because that team does not represent you. It has nothing to do with you. These are players that have their own individual lives. These guys are getting rich. And just by you watching them, that's making them filthy rich. And you feel like you've succeeded when they've won. But what have you got? You got false dopamine. That's not real. Okay? You're getting dopamine from watching someone else's success. Shouldn't be like that. The only time you get a boost of dopamine is when you are successful personally. So it can be very dangerous for people to watch sports because they're getting this constant boost of dopamine whenever their team wins. And they didn't have to do anything for it. It's just like watching porn. You get that big boost of dopamine without having to do anything, without having to go out in the world and track down that woman and lasso her and reel her in. Okay? Sports is an unhealthy thing. It's very unhealthy for your psychology, okay? And that could even be the problem, a lot of people's problems today. So these people, they're delusional. They're imagining that they're part of this team and that they will somehow be successful when the team is successful. It's a completely delusional thing. You're deluding yourself by watching sports. And not to mention, it's a waste of time. And in ancient Rome, they said, give them sports and give them like beer, and then people will never rebel. And guess what? That's exactly what's happening. We've had sports ingrained in our society, and it gives the sheeple, something to focus on so that they focus less on the evil that our own government is doing to its people, such as inflating the currency. Okay? So sports is just the biggest distraction in the world. To many people, sports are their idol. That's called idolatry. When you practically worship these sports teams more than you go to church. That's idolatry. You're replacing God with a sport. Okay? That's evil. Yeah, this guy loves sports and porn. I put them in the same category. Okay? For real. Because it gets you that massive dopamine rush for doing no work. So, I'm not an alcoholic. I used to drink. I don't drink at all whatsoever anymore. Pretty much when my ex-girlfriend left me, I quit doing everything bad, and I said to myself, I'm going to be the kind of man that she wishes I was, you know? I'm going to be the perfect guy. So I quit drinking. I quit doing a lot of bad stuff. He says, God ain't real, bro. I wouldn't say that. And it's very dangerous for you to say that and have other people that could believe that. It's okay if you go to hell, but if you take others with you, your best bet, just to keep quiet. Just keep quiet about that stuff. Don't say God isn't real. You're going to influence others negatively. You're going to become a negative influence on others. So, inflation is meant to leverage against unemployment. Too long. If you wanted me to read your comment, give a super chat. So, he's invisible. You'd have to be a brainwashed fool to think we don't have a creator. Yeah. But that's what people are. They're brainwashed by the schools, the school education system. And believe me, I went to the school education system, and it sucks. It sucks. The teachers in there had no clue how to teach me. I was probably smarter than a lot of the teachers that I had, and that's why there was a disconnect. Plus, they wanted me to read all this stuff, and I didn't want to read it. Like in third grade, second grade, third grade, they wanted me to read these articles and stuff, and I didn't want to. And I didn't live with my dad. So my dad never really told me, like, you got to do your work and stuff. He never even told me what I was supposed to do in school. He said, oh, go to school. He never told me I had to actually do the work or anything. And the school system really treated me pretty badly. And I had a lot of female teachers. When I was a young boy, a lot of female teachers. And I think that negatively impacted me as well. That I had all those female authority figures. I think that was really, really bad on me. As a young boy, I really needed that male authority figure in school because I didn't have my dad around. So then I went to school and I had all these female teachers trying to boss me around and tell me what to do. Very bad for boys to go to public school, okay? You should have your children homeschooled. I don't watch any sports, win or lose. Does not make a difference in my life. Yeah. The people that watch sports, they have a certain mentality. Okay? I believe that the people who watch sports are at a certain level. Okay? They're at a certain level. It's not a high level. All right? My level of awareness and understanding of the universe is much higher than a person who watches sports and takes pleasure in a false dopamine rush. Can you imagine? Oh, they won. I'm so happy they won. What do you get for it? Nothing. It comes back to the belief that we were all part of a clan, you know? And those people that watch sports, they believe that they're in the same clan. It's delusional. It's delusional. Let me tell you something. If you're born in Buffalo, you're going to like the Buffalo Bills. But if you were born in Texas, then you would like the Dallas Cowboys. How is any one really the best? You know, if you were, it's just you're just partnered with a random team based on your birth. How does that make any sense? That, oh, I hope this is the right team. I hope I was born in the right spot. I was born in the right state. You just blindly accept the team wherever you live. That doesn't make any sense. It's because these people have a certain mentality. What should happen is you should choose the team that you really like, no matter where they live, no matter what state that they're in. It's just a lot of weird things that go on in these people's minds. The people who watch sports, I really believe they're operating on a low level, a lower level of awareness. Okay? Not intelligence. I said awareness. Yeah. When people love the Buffalo Bills, but they always lose. It's like, really, you want to be a loser your whole life? Why are you connected to that team just because you live there? If you think about it, there's really no connection other than just that we live there. And that's not a good enough reason. Because like I said, if you were born somewhere else, then you'd be supporting another team. It just doesn't make sense. But who cares? Who cares? Guys, gold now coming back up, $123 an ounce. It's up $123, $5,300 an ounce. Look at that, guys. Okay, I gotta go, guys. But yeah, thank you everybody so much. We're gonna check in with you tomorrow on the prices of gold and silver, see where we're at. Okay, I gotta get out of here, guys. How are you guys? Blaze, X-Blaze, yeah. Thanks for coming back, X-Blaze. I only support only me. Well, that's okay. I'm all for that, bro. I'm not a huge fan of giving a ton of money to other people, but maybe a little bit here and there is always okay, as long as it doesn't break your own bank, okay? So guys, remember to hit that donate button. I'll see you in the next video.